Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
We are live today at Sandrini Elementary School, home of the Saints, and we're here to
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm April, and if you'd like assistance, you can give us a call here in Bakersfield at 636-4357. If you're outside of Bakersfield, we have a toll-free number, 1-866-636-6284. You can send us an email at dothemath@kern.org, and you can also watch us online at dothemathonline.net. You can also look for us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right, well, we have a lot of things to get to today. I know we have a lot of students waiting to get their phone calls on so that they can see it worked out live on TV.
Yes.
We have a very special guest in the studio. We'll be going out to Sandrini Elementary, but first, let's take a look at today's Math in the News. All right, so today's is actually ripped right out of the newspaper. I actually ripped it. I didn't even cut it. I ripped it right out of there.
Quick
and
and
it's
easy.
from a couple weeks ago, but it's, are you smarter than a 3rd, 8th, or 11th grader? And they usually put these things out when they have standardized tests and things like that, so that way parents can kind of get an idea on some of the types of problems that students are needing to solve. So I figured, let's go right in the middle. Let's take a look at the 8th grader one.
8th
so
grade.
we won't even work these out. We're just going to reason through them and talk about them. All right, so let's look at the first one. We need to decide if it's true or false.
That's a great mathematical practice, by the way.
And you do that also in the
Yes.
junior high with the
Yes.
students, right? So here's the
Reasoning
first
through
one. We have the
problems.
square root of 37 is less than 5 1/4. Now, the square root of 37 is not going to be an even whole number because the square root of 36 is going to be 6. So it's going to be a little more than 6 because it's the square root of 37.
Correct.
We don't even have to actually know what it is. We know it's going to be a little more than 6, and we know that 6 is not less than 5.
Correct.
So that first one is false.
False.
Agree with that?
I do.
All right, let's take a look at the next one right here. We have 3 times pi, and most students are aware that pi is 3.14, and some students know that it's 100 more decimals after that that they have memorized. And I remember on the program one day we did it where some guy had 1,000,000 place values memorized or some ridiculous number like that.
That's pretty tough.
Let's just go with pi is 3. We'll just leave it at that,
Just 3,
okay?
approximate.
So 3 times 3, 9, is greater than 3 times the square root of 3. So the square root of 3 is approximately what?
1.7, 1.8.
Right, 1.7. I think it's 1.75, so if you
Okay.
rounded it. So let's just say it's 1.5 even.
Okay.
Okay, let's even if we made it 2. So we know that 3 times pi would be 9. That is larger than 3 times the square root of 3.
Which is 2.
Which is 2,
6.
around there, so that's going to be 6. So we know that that second statement is true.
So we've got false and true.
So we've false and true. The
Okay.
square root of 5, well, we know that square root of 4 is 2,
It's a little more than that.
right? So it's going to be more than 2. The other half of that is 5/7. That's not even one whole, all right?
Correct.
So we can see that the square root of 5, which is a little more than 2, is going to be greater than 5/7, which isn't even 1. So that statement is true.
Agreed.
Our final one, 15 divided by the square root of 10. So the square root of 10 we know is going to be approximately 3 something.
Yes.
So let's say it's 15 divided by 3, which would be about 5.
Correct.
Is 5 greater than 0.38?
It is not.
It is not. So that one is false right there. And that is today's Math in the News. Just a little bit right there, things that you can look at the newspaper, standardized tests. And you don't have to actually work the problems out if you can just reason through them, and you can do it like that. As April said, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 on most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year. In studio with us right now, we have Ella. How are you?
Good.
What grade are you in?
4th.
How is it?
Good.
Okay, so it's good. What's the worst thing about 4th grade?
The PE is really hard.
The PE? Oh my gosh, there
Is
are
it too
kids that
hot
go, oh, I
outside?
wish I could do PE all day, but you know what? So you would rather stay inside? Or you probably like doing PE, right?
Yeah.
But it's a little more difficult right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to have you do some work in a little while, all right?
Okay.
But right now we're going to go to the phones with our first phone caller of the afternoon. And Jordan, how are you this afternoon?
I'm good.
And you're in 7th grade?
Yes.
All right. As soon as you're ready, let's hear the math problem that you're working on.
I am doing a math problem. It is -2/5 plus 4/5 plus -2.4.
And Jordan, we're supposed to simplify this?
What?
We're supposed to simplify this?
Yeah.
We're adding and subtracting, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of numbers do we have here? Like -2/5, what kind of number is that?
That is a rational number.
A rational number? Give me another name for that. -2/5 is also
integer?
Is it an integer?
Yeah.
So an integer is a whole number, like -6 and 4. So is this a whole number, -2/5?
No.
It's, what kind of number is that? What would you call that? Starts with an F.
A fraction.
That's a fraction, okay? And 4/5, what kind of number is that?
What?
4/5, what kind of number is that? What would you call 4/5?
Rational number or fraction.
Correct. And -2.4, what kind of number would you call that?
A decimal and
And
an integer. No, not an integer.
the same as these two.
What?
It's the same as these two. They're all
I forgot what I said.
rational numbers.
Yeah,
So they're all
rational
rational numbers, okay? So this is fraction form, this is fraction form, this is decimal form. Do you know how to change the decimal into a fraction?
I don't really remember, but I think you do 4 times the whole number.
4 times the whole number?
Should be coming
Yeah.
back up. I've got it on the computer, so hopefully there you
Okay,
go.
so 4 times the whole number.
Just watch the power button, I guess, on it.
Yes, I should. So the whole number right here says, I guess I should put that in parentheses, -2, and then this would say and 2 and, do you know how to say that? 4
2 and 4/10.
4/10. So that's going to be -2 and 4/10. And here I have, is this one the eraser?
I can't hear you.
I'm not saying anything. I'm finding the eraser, Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Is that one the eraser?
Yeah, you can just turn the pen.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I have -2/5
-2/5.
plus
Do you want me to change that into decimal?
4/5, no, I don't want to change it into a decimal. Don't we want to change them all into fractions?
What?
We're going to change them all into fractions.
Oh, okay. So 2 and 4/10, you do 10 minus 2, 10 times 2, which is 20, plus 4, which is 24/10.
So we're going to change this to 24/10?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have 4/5 and 2/5, -2/5. So what do I
Yeah.
need to do now?
You need to add 2,
-2/5?
2/5 plus 4/5,
So -2/5 plus 4/5 is
4/5. and that gives you 6 bits positive.
So if I have a negative number and then I have a positive number, do I add or do I subtract?
You add.
Okay, so the integer rule is if a number is negative and another number is positive, they have opposite signs. So I put same signs together and then I subtract opposite signs. And so since these have opposite signs, I'm actually going to subtract. Okay, so it's going to be 4 minus 2, and that's going to be 2/5 plus negative 24/10.
Yes.
Okay, and now I have to find a common denominator. 5 and 10 have what in common?
5 and 10 in
What
common.
multiple do they have in common?
10.
They
So you
both
would do the
have a
2
multiple of 10.
times 2, which would give you 4 tens.
So I have 5, I've got 10, I have to multiply my numerator by 2, so that's going to give me 4/10 plus, do I have to change the numerator here?
No.
So do you remember what we should do? I have positive 4/10 plus negative 24/10. Do you know what we should do?
Oh, you should just add it together and then simplify.
Okay, so is positive 4/10 the same sign as negative 24/10?
No.
So I can't add them because they don't have the same sign. I should do what instead?
You have to subtract them.
Subtract. So 24 minus 4 is,
20.
and I have more negatives here, so it's going to be negative 20/10. Okay?
Oh, and then you change that into a whole number, which would be 2, right?
Yes. Thank you, Jordan.
Okay, you
Yes,
needed to
do.
simplify that, so that's what he needed to
And
do.
you simplify that.
There you go, nicely done. Great first problem right there. Because of that, we're going to send you to a game with the Bakersfield Condors. So congratulations on that. We hope you enjoy whatever game you do happen to go see. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We're going to put Ella to work, but first, we're going to head out to Sandrini and Marylou.
We are live today at Sandrini Elementary School, ACE's after-school program, and I have a special guest with me. Why don't you tell everybody your name and what grade you're in?
My name is Felix Ramirez, and I am in 5th grade.
And Felix, what is your favorite thing to do?
My favorite thing to do is play football.
Are you on a football team right now?
No.
Do you like watching football?
Mhm.
I do too. All right, but we have math, right? Which is probably another favorite. Yes? Okay, you're working on exponents. Yes?
Yes.
Why don't you solve this? Tell everybody how to solve that for us.
Okay. So the way I do it is I don't look at the 0, but I multiply 10 times 9. So I'll put my 9 right here and then look at that 0. And then I'll come back to the 10 and look at how many exponents I need. And so if it's more than 3, or if I already have a 0, I'll put a comma and add the 3 exponents.
So 90 times 10 to the third power, you have 90,000, correct? Okay, so again, in exponent, it's really not saying 10 times 3, is
Yeah.
it? It's saying 10 times 10 times 10. So I'm going to solve it, but I'm going to solve it the long way. Okay, your way was kind of short, huh? It was kind of a trick. What is this really saying? Let's look at that. What this is really saying is 90 multiplied by 10 to the third. Again, students think this is 10 times 3, which is 30, right?
Yeah.
But that's not true. It's really 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10.
3 times.
Exactly. It's multiplying it by itself 3
And the
times.
exponent.
Yeah. So what's 10 times 10?
100.
100. What's 100 multiplied by 10?
1,000.
1,000. And we could double check our work because multiplying by 10s is so easy, huh? We know we have a 1 followed by how many zeros?
3.
3. So we like multiplying by 10s, don't we? So now we're going to bring it down because we're kind of simplifying it down, huh? So now we have 90 multiplied by 10. And let's think about this, kind of like what you did. What's 9 multiplied by 1?
9.
9. Okay, write that for me. 9. And how many zeros do we have? We have 1, 2, 3,
4.
4. So let's follow it with 4 zeros. Did we get the same answer?
Yes.
Yes, we did. Two different ways to solve it, huh? I like your way. It was kind of quick. Okay, we have another one. We have 7 multiplied by 10 to the 5th. Felix, go for it. Tell us how to solve this.
Okay, so like I said again, I'll multiply 10 times 7, which is 70, and then look at how many exponents I need. And so I'll go over here, and then I'll add 1 0, and then
How many zeros did you add?
I added 5.
You added 5. Okay. So let's go my way, which is the long way. Okay. See if we did it right.
Okay.
So we have 7 again, multiplied by, and how many 10s do I need?
5.
5. We need 5 10s, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay. So 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10. How many zeros do I need there? How many zeros are here? 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
Give me 5 zeros. Okay, and we have 7, right?
Yeah.
So 7 multiplied by 1 is?
7.
Followed by 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
5. All right. Do we have it?
Yeah.
700,000, 700,000. Okay, before we go, Felix, I'm going to show you one more problem with exponents because you are learning base 10 exponents. However, I'm going to show you something you're going to learn next year in 6th grade.
Okay.
Okay, so I have 2 to the 3rd power. What this really means again is I'm multiplying 2 by how many times?
3.
Okay, go ahead and multiply, write that out for me real quick. 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So let's solve this out. What's 2 multiplied by 2?
4.
What's 4 multiplied by 2?
8.
Boom. There you go. You know what a big mistake a lot of students will do? 2 to the 3rd power, they'll tell me it's 6. But it's not, is it?
Because they multiply 2 times 3.
So you ready to go 6th grade now? Yeah? Awesome job. Good job, good job. All right, Felix, let's send them back to the studio. Okay, back to April and Mike at the studio.
All right, nicely done at Sandrini Elementary. Nice to see Felix doing some work out there with Marylou. Hey, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Don't forget, if you're calling from San Luis Obispo County, that phone number is toll free at 1-866-636-6284. If you phone in and we do one of your math problems on air, you automatically get yourself some ice cream, courtesy of Doc Bernstein's Ice Cream Lab. Right now, we're going to put Ella to work. You do not like 4th grade PE.
No,
So what is the best thing about 4th grade then, since that's the worst thing?
because it's the first year that you get to get into gate.
Oh, it's the first year you get to get into gate? And did that happen?
Yes.
Well, congratulations on that. There you go. Nicely done. Because I'm a little familiar with the gate program over there, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are learning Italian this year, correct?
Yes.
So that's the first of the 3 romantic languages that you'll be studying. You'll be doing Italian, Spanish, and then French. Can you speak a little Italian for us?
No.
Can you say
Ciao.
one word?
You know ciao?
Yes.
What's that?
Hello.
Then you know Italian, right? We'll make you count later on. Anyway, get up on the board right now. Now,
So go ahead and.
you're working with the metric system, I believe, in 4th grade right now.
Yes.
But we're going to skip that. We're going to go to something that you'll be doing at the end of 4th grade and in 5th grade. So I will give you a number 23. So go ahead and write 23. And April will need to move the board down for you as we get going here, but let's go ahead and, April, why don't you select another number for that underneath that?
Let's multiply by 14.
And this is going to be the first time Ella is attempting a problem like this. So April, with your guidance, let's get her through this.
Okay, so Ella, let's think about numbers that we can add together to get 23. So what's the easiest numbers that you can think of to add together to get 23?
11 and 12.
11 and 12, a little easier.
10 and 13.
10 and 13. Okay, so let's go 10 and 13. So let's go 10, or give me a little easier.
9 plus 14.
Okay, let's go 10 and 13.
I thought she was going to go 20 plus 3.
I did too. Plus 13. Can you put plus 13 over there for me, please, on the right side? So we're expanding. 23 is 10 plus 13. Okay, so what about 14? What do we know about 14? Give me two numbers that we can add
10
together.
plus 4.
Thank you. 10 plus 4. So let's write that underneath. 10 plus 4. Right? Okay. So what we can do when we expand, let's multiply 10 times 10. You can draw a line underneath. Let's multiply 10 times 10. See how we have a plus sign here? We're going to add that to, so let's put our plus sign right here next to 100, put a plus sign.
Oh.
Okay, see how it's next to the 10s? We'll put that next to that because 10 times 10 is 100. 13 times 4. Do you know what 13 times, have you multiplied up to 13 yet? What's 13 times 4?
52.
52. Let me check. Oh, that's pretty good. 52.
Like that?
Yes. But I'm not sure if this is going to come out correct. Let's go ahead and add those two together. And 100 plus 52. Mike, can you help me out? I feel like 200. I got 212 before.
Right, because it's going to be a little more than that. Because just think about 20 times
20
10
times
is
10
200.
is 200, yes.
Right.
So
So what you need to do is you need to go the
20 times
20
3.
times 14 and then 3 times 14.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I think happened.
Great job, kiddo. So we're going to do,
So make those 2s basically.
make this a 2. Leave that a 1.
Oh.
And then take that away. So if you make this 20, what does this have to be now?
3.
3. Change that to a 3. And then what's 3 times 4?
12.
So you're going to go 20 times 14 and then 3 times 14.
Okay, so I'm going to go 20
If that's
times,
what you're...
Are we going to go 20 times 4? Let's go to an 80. So let's get plus 80.
Wrong side.
And then we'll go 10 times 3.
30.
So plus 30. So can we add all of those together?
Yes.
Okay, what do we get when we add them all together? You can stack them on top of
Okay.
one another and add. $322, right? Let's check that over here. So I'm going to show you a different way to multiply.
Okay.
So we multiplied this times this, and then we multiplied this times this. We multiplied 4 times 20 and 3 times 10, right? So let's multiply 4 times 3,
12.
12. So put a 2 under there. And then if it's 12, we're going to put a placeholder up in the 10 spot. So let's put a, can you reach there? Do I need to move it down?
You may need to put the 1 there. Oh, there you go.
So let's put the 1 here. Okay, and I'm going to move it again. Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12. We'll put our 2 here, and then our 1 there. So now I'm going to multiply 4 times 2,
8.
8, and then I have to add 1 to that.
9.
9, so we'll put a 9 there. So now we're done with the ones place, right? We don't need that anymore. So we're going to put a 0 in the ones, and now we're going to multiply by the tens place. Okay, and I'm going to hide that one because we don't need that. So what is 1 times 3?
3.
3. And 1 times 2?
2.
2. And so I've multiplied my tens place by each place value. So now I'm going to add straight down. 92 plus 230. Did you get the same answer?
Yes.
2 different methods? Which one did you like best?
That one.
Okay. Great job, Ella.
Nicely done, Alice. See, that way now you've got 2 different ways to multiply, and you can practice both of those ways. And
Good
we've
job.
even got a third way, and we'll introduce that one to you a little bit later on. Right now, we're going to go to the phones again. And Layla, how are you this afternoon?
Good.
Good. And you're a 6th grader, correct?
6.
All right. As soon as you're ready, April's got the board all cleared off, so let's hear that math problem you're working on.
Can you repeat that?
So you can read
You
it
can
whenever
tell
you're
us
ready.
your math problem.
Okay. 4n negative 11n equals 105.
So 4n minus 11n equals 105, correct? Okay, so what do we do first?
What?
What are we supposed to do first?
We're supposed to subtract 11 by 4n.
So we're going to combine like terms because 4 has the variable n and 11 has the variable n. So when I combine like terms, 4n minus 11n gives me
What?
4n minus 11n is
9n. Negative 9n.
negative 9n. So if I have negative 9n, I've only taken 2 away from 11. It needs to be a little bit smaller.
Negative 7.
So negative 7n, and that's going to equal 105. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now I have negative 7n equals 105. How should I undo my operation? How do I get n isolated all by itself?
You subtract.
So what does subtraction look like? Where does subtraction fall when you see it in a problem? So right here we're subtracting, right?
Yeah.
So what's on the right of the subtraction? What's this number
The
right
right?
here? What's on the right of your subtraction sign?
11.
Correct. What's on the left of your subtraction sign?
4.
Okay,
4n.
4n. 11n is on the right and 4n is on the left. So with subtraction, it's between two things, right? If I look at negative 7n, am I subtracting something? Is that sign between two things?
Yes.
What's it between?
4n and 11.
Okay, after that, go down to the bottom where we combine like terms. So 4n minus 11n is negative 7n. And negative 7n equals 105, correct? Are you with me there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I said, how do I undo this? And you told me I'm subtracting. Am I subtracting or am I doing something else?
You're doing something else.
What am I doing? Negative 7n means I'm multiplying, right? Yes, so
Yeah.
how do you undo multiplication?
You divide.
Yes, and since I'm multiplying by negative 7, I have to be sure to divide by negative 7. Because negative 7 divided by negative 7 gives me 1. So I have to use a negative. And if I divide by negative 7 on the right, I keep my equation balanced and I divide by negative 7 on the left. And 105 divided by negative 7, is it 105 or negative 105? Is it positive 105 or negative 105?
Positive.
Positive? Okay. So positive 105 divided by negative 7 gives me, I can go 7 into 105. So how many times does 7 go into 10?
1.
How many times does 7 go into 10?
1.
Once. And 7 times 1 is 7. I'm going to subtract, and that gives me 3. I'm going to bring down the 5, and I get 35. So 7 goes into 35 how many times?
5 times.
5. So 105 divided by negative 7 gives me 105 divided by negative 7 gives me, how many times did 7 go into 105? You said 1 and 5, so that's going to give me negative 15.
And it's gone just like that. You've got quite the little touch going on there today.
Magnetism over here.
So let's see if we can undo that. And there we go.
Thank you.
So there you go. N is equal to negative 15. So Layla, congratulations on that. And I'm sure you've got some more problems like that, but we do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Because you phoned in with that one, we're going to send you to Maya Cinemas to go see a movie of your choice. So congratulations on that. Hey, we'll be back with more right after this. Today we're in Ridgecrest. We're at Las Flores Elementary School, and today we're here to... All right, here we are at Las Flores Elementary School, and with me today I've got Dion. How are you?
Good.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to work with some positive and negative numbers, okay? Why don't you give me a first number?
First number.
Go ahead and write any number you like up on the board.
Positive minus 13.
Negative 13?
Negative 13.
And I'm going to go plus 4. Now, you can either put a positive or a negative number after that. It's up to you. Plus 6. And I will go, I'm going to put a plus 7 here. Now you can go on either end, positive or negative. It's up to you.
Positive 10. Oh,
Positive 15?
That's fine.
Okay. And to make things interesting, I'll end this up with a negative, how old are you?
9.
You're 9? Let's make it a negative 9. All right? So what we'd like to do now is we want to evaluate this. We want to see what this all equals. So how would you go about doing that? So just talk to me first before you do anything. What would you like to do? How would you like to evaluate that?
I would bring this down, and then I would add the negatives first together.
Okay. That is
And-
awesome.
So
So why don't you go ahead and do that
typically
first? If you want, there's 2 seats over here, so you guys can...
it's 2. And then, oh my god.
You need the eraser? Here we go. I got you.
22 minus.
Okay, so you're saying that
22
negative
negative.
13 and negative 9 is what you put together? And you got negative 22?
22.
Perfect. Now what?
Now, negative 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, wow. 15. So I'm adding all the positives.
Okay.
6 plus 7 equals 7. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
Good.
28, so that equals 28.
So here, we had the 15. So why don't you cross out the 15? Just put a line through it. The 6, the 7, And we already did the 13 and the 9, so what's left?
The 4
Okay, and where should that go?
in the positive.
There you go. So just go ahead and put it underneath that one and add it to that.
Wait.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Right? So all of the positive numbers give us a positive 32. The negative ones gave us negative 22. So if we put them all together, what do we end up with?
Wait. 20 is 2 positive 32 negative plus minus 2 0 10.
Positive or
10
negative?
positive.
How do you know it's positive?
Wait.
You're
'Cause
correct, but how do you know that? Like, is there a way that you can justify that or prove that?
The 22 is less. The 22 negative is less than 32.
Perfect. You know what? You did that exactly right. Here's another way to do it. I'm going to show you another way to do it, because sometimes you get a long list of numbers and they might be difficult to do. You mostly did that in your head. What we can do is make a positive and negative like this, okay? Because could you go positive 7 minus 13? What would you get there? Could you do that in your head?
Six negative.
Perfect. All right. So you were able to do that in your head. I like the way you took the two negatives, made it one negative. So what's the first positive number we have?
7,
7. And what's the next number?
4,
Okay.
6,
Okay.
and 15.
And what are the negative numbers we have?
13 and 9.
Good. Okay. You add up that side, I'll add up this side. Okay. There you go. Now, this side added up to 32. That was 22. Which one is larger?
32.
32. What's the difference between 32 and 22?
32 is 10 times more than 22.
It's 10 more, isn't it? Right? And the sign above it is positive. So that way we know that this whole thing is 10 more than that one. You did it 3 different ways now. Dion, nicely done. And once again, a big thanks to all of the staff and students at Las Flores School. We had a wonderful time when we were able to go out there and visit, do some math problems with the kids, and visit that school for the first time. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We'll work with Ella again, but first we're going to head back out to Sandrini Elementary and Marylou.
We are back live at Sandrini Elementary School, the ACES After School program, and I have another special guest with us. Why don't you let everybody know your name and your grade?
My name is Martha Ortega, and I'm in 5th grade.
Okay, what is your favorite thing here at Sandrini Elementary?
I like to do math in class.
Oh yes, and we got math, don't we? Okay, but before we go on, at the break we were playing a game, huh? And I gave you guys 5 numbers, and you had to make them equal 20, and you solved it, didn't you? It was pretty amazing. It was kind of tough, huh? But once you got it, it was awesome. Okay, so we have a problem right behind us, right? And you are dealing with order of operation.
Yep.
Okay, so order of operation, we need PEMDAS, right? So we have our, do you know what the P stands for? How do you
Parentheses.
Parentheses. E. Exponents. So we have parentheses, exponents, and then we will either multiply or divide, whatever comes first, left to right. And then the last thing we always want to do is add or subtract. Okay, so we need to focus on this to help us here, right? Here's our problem. So we got quattro dici plus quattro multiplied by quattro minus nove. Oh, that's for Mike, a little Italian. Okay, so again, we have 14 plus 4 multiplied by 4, subtract by 9. So the first thing we need to do is,
Multiply the parentheses.
very good, let's do that, go ahead.
4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16.
Okay, so we have our 16, right? So we solved the parentheses, so let's bring down our other numbers. So you want to bring down your 14 and your plus sign, and we want to bring down our
9.
minus 9. Okay, so let's bring it down. So let's do our 14 plus, plus, don't forget your 16 there. And then we have our minus. So are we going to add first or subtract first?
Add.
Add, right? Because it tells us whatever comes first, left to.
Right.
Okay, so let's add our 14 plus 16.
14.
Okay, so we have 30, right? And then what are we going to do with the 30? Then now we have to,
Subtract 9.
there you go.
And we have to make that a 10 and a 2.
There you go. There's our solution, 21. Stick it up there for us, okay? So again, we always have to remember to follow the rules. Because you know why they came up with this? If we didn't follow the rules, we all would get different answers, wouldn't we? So we need to make sure we follow the rules. Okay, here we have we have 2 multiplied by 6 divided by 2 plus 1. Okay, are we going to multiply or are we going to divide first? We're going to multiply, yeah. We want to multiply those two numbers first, don't we? Okay, go ahead. What's 2 multiplied by 6?
It's 12.
Okay, now let's bring down our divide, 2 plus 1. Okay, are we going to divide or are we going to add?
Divide.
Okay, what's 12 divided by 2?
It is 6.
And then let's bring down our plus 1.
Plus 1 equals 7.
There you go. Now, this is another trick to help you stay organized. Yeah, because if not, there's a lot of students that are like, I'm just going to mental math this. And guess what? They make mistakes. And then they don't know where they made their mistakes because there's so many numbers, right? So it's always best to do that, okay? All right, real quick, let's do this before we go back. I'm going to do something that you're going to learn in a little bit, okay? So this is a numerator and that's a denominator. So what's 2 multiplied by 6?
12.
Okay, write that for me. And we have 2 on the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know what the fraction bar really means? It really means to divide. So this is what this really says. 12 divided by
2.
So what's 12 divided by 2?
6.
You got it. Woohoo! Order of operations, huh? All right. Back to the studio with April and Mike.
All right, thanks for that, Marylou. Fond memories of our dear Aunt Sally with those order of operations right there. We're going to go back to the phones. Arohi, how are you this afternoon?
I'm good.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. As soon as you're ready, let's hear the math problem that you're working on.
66 is equal to
Go ahead.
4 and then a parentheses,
So 4 open parentheses,
2x
2x
minus 3,
minus 3,
end parentheses,
thank you,
plus
plus
2,
2,
and then another parentheses,
okay,
x plus 4,
plus
and then end parentheses.
in parentheses. Okay, so I have 66 equals 4 open parentheses, 2x minus 3, in parentheses, plus 2 open parentheses, x plus 4 in parentheses, correct?
And we'll give you guys 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, are you ready? So what should we do? I have 66, and that's going to equal, with this 4, what should I do?
You should multiply it by the 2x.
I'm going to multiply it by everything inside the parentheses, so 4 times 2x is?
8x.
And then I have to also multiply 4 times?
3.
Negative 3?
Yeah, negative 3.
So 4 times negative 3 is?
Negative 12.
Okay, and so we've gotten rid of the parentheses there. And then I have plus 2, so we're going to multiply by a positive 2. And we're going to multiply 2 by?
X,
X.
which is 2x.
2x. And then I'm also going to multiply 2 by?
4.
4, and that gives me?
8.
So now I have 66 equals 8x minus 12 plus 2x plus 8. What should I do now?
You should simplify the problem.
Okay, and I have to combine like terms because I have some of my terms with variables and some not. So 8 has a variable x and 2 has a variable x, so I'm going to combine them. What is 8x plus 2x?
10x.
And then this 12 is negative, and this 8 is positive, so what's negative 12 plus 8?
Negative 4.
So I should have 66 equals 10x minus 4, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what should we do next?
Then you'd cross out, you'd make the negative a positive,
Where?
negative 4, and turn into a positive 4.
So I'm going to use
and
the
then you
inverse
do the same
operation?
to 66.
Okay, so I'm going to use the inverse or the opposite, and I'm going to add 4, keep my equation balanced, and add 4 to both sides of the equal sign, and negative 4 plus 4 will be 0, and 66 plus 4 is?
70.
So 70 is equal to 10x, and what can I multiply by 10 to get 70?
7.
7, and when I use the inverse operation, I'm actually going to divide by 10, and 70 divided by 10 is 7. Great job.
All right, nicely done on that, and congratulations, because that was an awesome problem. We're going to send you to Chick-fil-A. So congratulations on that, Aroe. Hey, we do have time to get Ella to work, so let's erase the board. And I'm going to give you ladies not as difficult a problem this time.
Okay.
Because I'm going to see if you can get this one. You're going to be 1 minute. All right? So here we go. I'm going to give you 1 minute. So the first number, 34. And underneath that, we're going to go with just a single digit.
Okay.
7. So 34 times 7, and your time will start now.
So which way?
I only want to hear Ella work.
Okay. What are you doing?
But you have
Ella?
to say everything what you're doing.
What are you doing?
Okay. 4 times 7 is 28.
Okay.
Do I add the 2 up there?
Correct, because that goes in the tens place.
2 plus 3 is 5.
Not yet. So I did 4
Okay.
times 7 for 28, and now I'm going to go back to 7, and I have to multiply 7
Times 3.
times 3.
Okay, so 21.
And now I add the 2. 21 plus 2.
21. 23.
23. Can we do more than one way? Or are we
Well,
done?
you know what? You got it completed in 40 seconds. So nicely done. Ella, congratulations on that, because I know you're just learning how to multiply like this. So nicely done. All right, you know what? We do have time for one more phone call before we go back out to Sandrini. So Morgan, how are you this afternoon?
Pretty good.
And are you working on equations as well?
Yes.
All right, so April, you know how equations go. 2 minutes once you start the problem. Morgan, let's hear it.
2n minus 5n plus 13 plus 9n equals 67.
So Morgan, what should we do first?
So you need to put it into the first line.
The first line? Should we combine some things first?
Yes, the n's.
All the ends, all the numbers with n. So I'm going to combine 2n with negative 5n and 9n. So when I combine, what's 2n minus 5n?
Negative 3n.
And negative 3n plus 9n? Oh, can you see me?
Negative 11n.
So if I have negative 3 and then I add 9 to that, am I going to go higher or lower?
Oh, you're going to go higher.
So if 3 is negative, right? And 9 is positive. Can you write that down? 3 minus 9. So if 3 is positive, and negative 3 plus 9. So 3 is negative and 9 is positive. I'm adding to the 9 or I'm taking away from the 9?
You're taking away from the 9.
I'm taking away from the 9. So what's negative 3n plus 9? I'm going to subtract.
Negative 6n.
That's going to give me negative 6n plus 13 equals 67. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, now what?
Now, you
I've-
have to
So am I going to touch the negative 6n or am I going to use the opposite of the 13?
Can you repeat that?
Am I going to use negative 6n or am I going to use 13?
13, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to use the opposite of 13. So if that's positive 13, I'm going to need
Negative
13. I'm going to subtract 13 on both sides to keep my equation balanced. And 13 minus 13 is 0. So over here I have 6n. And what's 67 minus 13?
That is 54.
Yes. Great job. And so now I have negative 6 times n equals 54. And how do I undo negative 6 times n?
You,
What's the opposite of multiplication?
division.
So I'm going to divide by what number?
6.
What number am I multiplying by? What's number is being multiplied by n? What's the sign on that 6?
Negative.
So I have to divide with the same sign. I have to divide by negative 6 on both sides of the equal sign, and n equals 54 divided by negative 6, which gives me,
Let me get these out of there for you and see if we can pull up. There we go.
what does that give me? 54 divided by negative 6.
That negative 9.
Yes. Great job, Morgan.
There you go. Nicely done. Morgan has got herself entered into a drawing for a couple of tickets to CSUB Athletics. So we'd like to thank those guys. And you know what you've won? You've also received a meal courtesy of our friends at Johnny Rockets for coming in today. So you can go over to see Lydia, get your full belly on over there, all right? So congratulations on that. We have a moment, so we're going to head back out to Sandrini Elementary and Marylou.
We are back live at Sandrini Elementary School, the ACES After School program, and I have my final guest of the day. Why don't you tell everybody your name?
My name's Malachi Harris.
And Malachi, what grade are you in?
6.
6th grade. Have you been here since kindergarten?
No, I've been here since 2nd grade.
Are you looking forward to going on to junior high next year? Yeah? Okay. All right, Malachi, we got some math behind us, don't we? So we're going to continue on with order of operation, but you have something different in yours than we had before, right? What's different about yours? What do you have now?
See, I have an exponent. I have an exponent.
Yes, you have an exponent, but you have no parentheses, right? Other than right here. The parentheses are with the exponent, so those two are kind of together, aren't they? So we need to solve that first. Okay, go for it.
Okay. I need to solve this. So 3 with the exponent 2 equals 9. That's the thing. So just gonna put a 9 here.
Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring down, if this is 9, are we going to go 17 plus 8 minus 9, or are we going to go 9 multiplied by 4?
17 plus 8
Well,
minus 9?
what do we need to do first
Oh, wait.
before adding?
Multiply or divide?
Yeah, we need to multiply. So what are we going to multiply 9 by?
4.
4, okay. What's 9 multiplied by 4?
36.
There, okay, I'm going to bring that down here. Okay, give me that answer right here. Okay, so are we going to add, subtract, or are we going to divide this too? Looking over here.
Add, subtract?
What do we want to do?
Yeah, divide.
We want to divide, so let's bring down our divide by 2. Divide that for me. What's half of 36? What do you think?
Let's see.
We'll put 36 in the house.
I know. 36 in the house and 2 out on the door. Let's see. 2 can go into 3 one time.
Okay.
So minus 1.
Well, 1 times 2 is what?
Oh.
2, right? Okay. But you are right. It's got. I'm going to move your line. It does equal 1. Let's take that off. Now bring down your 6. 2 goes into 16 how many times? 2 times what is 16?
8.
There you go. So 36 divided by 2 is?
18.
18. Okay, so I'm gonna rewrite this for you. We have 17 plus 8, and all of this here is gonna be minus 18. Okay. So what's 17 plus 8? I'm gonna do this real quick with you for mental math. What's 7 plus 8?
25.
You got it. Bring down 25. And minus 18. Real quick, what's 25 minus 18? Think about this, okay? Before you do this, I'm going to have you do mental math real quick. What's 25 minus 20?
5. No, wait,
Add-
20.
yes, no, you have that right, is 5. Add another 2. What's 5 plus 2?
7.
There you go. Guess what our answer is?
7?
7. You got it. It is 7. So up here, just put equals 7, kiddo. All right, high five. Awesome job. All right, remember your PEMDAS always, okay? All right, it has been another great visit here. Always fun at Sandrini Elementary School. I'd like to thank the ACES After School Program for having us come out today. And that's all for today. So I'm sending it back to the studio to Mike and April.
All right, thanks for that, Marylou. Well, you know what? You had some great students to work with. So did we in studio. Right now we have Ella. She has accepted her ambassadorship, and this is her new uniform. So congratulations on that. So you knew you were going to get a uniform, didn't you? All right. You have one final duty. You need to figure out which one of these students that has phoned in to go to the CSUB. So here we go. And the winner is?
Morgan.
Morgan, congratulations. You won 2 tickets to CSUB Athletics, any event of your choice. Until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.